Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Just a second. Okay. So I I'm still working on the Azure project stuff. So since I'm still learning it, I'm still working on just getting an information on what the Azure services are and what they are called. And so most likely I'm starting with that Udemy course. So once I'm done with that, I should have enough information to start working on the first project for that. So whenever I'm ready, I'll let you guys know. I want to get that done sooner. So I'm going to most likely it might be if I complete all the things I need to complete, it might be during the week, just like we've worked on other projects during the week. It might be that, or it would be I really don't want to do it on weekends because this time usually um people join for different reasons and people have questions. So I won't do it on Saturday. I'll just schedule a time during the week like we did for the other projects and we'll work on it. So I'm still working on that, but I should be done with that very soon. Other than that, I really don't have any other update. So if anyone has any question, the
Yes,
floor
I
is
have a
open.
question. It's more so like, well, it's for you, it's for general, in general.
Okay.
Anyone can come in and chime in,
Okay.
make their own point. And it's like in general stuff. I remember I told you guys recently that I'll be starting a new job, and I started this week. And
Mhm.
what I noticed was there's lots of tools that I need to ramp up on because I'm into data analytics, and the company that I joined is a hospital anyway. I'll be reporting off of Epic using SQL and all the other tools. And they've got like, I think like 3 or 4 more tools that I need to learn within like 3 to at least 3 months, 90 days. And I just wanted to bring this forward to see if anyone's been in my situation before, like having to do a lot of stuff and want to keep up with this. And what's from sort of advice that I can get from anyone if they've been in this situation or not even been in this situation, but understand what it takes to be able to do something like this, learn a lot of more other stuff going on at the same time.
Yeah. So what other tools are they? So are the tools you have to learn, is it similar to, is it specific to data analytics or is it like AWS tools?
No, it's data analytics. It's like
Okay.
I have to do SAS, ClickView, and then I think there's Webby as well
Okay.
on top of the other stuff that I'm doing,
Done.
and then
Oh, wow.
AWS.
Okay. So are you saying like the tools you, so is it, are you under pressure to learn it very quick, or is it something that you can kind of pick up as you go and you have time to do that?
I would say because I've got like 90 days, like 3 months to
Mm-hmm.
ramp up not under pressure, but it's just that when you start, because after 90 days, that's when you start being productive in whatever it is that they're
Mm-hmm.
doing. And you would want to be in a position where you can, at least get a sense of what you're doing. So not
Okay.
under pressure, but at least you need to get it done. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. Um, that's fine. Sometimes when you start any job, it's always like that. It's obviously for you, you have the fundamentals of your job, which is the data analytics, um, what you are working on. So, but when we have the fundamental skills similar to AWS, most of the time when you go into your new job, every company has different tools that they use that wouldn't be part of your list of fundamentals, where you will still have to kind of like pick up the tools they are using and learn how to learn it in ways that they use it. So I think what you are facing is normal. It's always like that. And another thing to keep in mind too is um, within your 90 days, right? You have to see what type of tools they are using the most, because sometimes on the first day they'll just tell you we are using this, we are using that. They'll pretty much dump everything on you in terms of their infrastructure, how it is set up. But then when you start working on your day to day, you realize that half of the things they gave you on day one, you don't even use it. So it is also good to just assess everything as you go. So that way you know what you need to prioritize in terms of all the things they've showed you and what you need to prioritize and start learning. So, I mean, that's
Yeah,
what
that's
I'll
true.
say.
Because I had a meeting with my manager yesterday, so I kind of like brought that up to us. Like, hey, I know there's like 4 or 5 different tools that you guys are using, but which one would make the most? Which, I mean, in terms of priority, and she actually told me that one of them is kind of like the one that I should actually make sure I get to understand, which is the SaaS, and
Mm-hmm.
it's not something that I've used before. So that's kind of like my priority for now. My thing is just to, balance that with all of what's going on. Because my AWS, I've gone kind of like too far now, and I don't want to, push it anywhere farther than how far I've gone now,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of being able to balance all of this.
Yeah. So even with your AWS skills, like I said, you continue to learn. I mean, continue to work on your projects. Continue to, even once you are done with all the projects here, continue to work on other projects on the side. So I always recommend that even when you guys are done with the projects here, have at least one project, one side project you are doing. If you can do, and it doesn't have to be a big project, it can be a small project on parts of AWS you haven't touched before, and one project a month, I would say, because the projects will last you a while, especially if it's something you are doing for the first time and you are trying to figure out how to configure certain things. It will take you a couple of weeks, maybe like a week or two. Sometimes it might take longer. So even outside of this program, you guys should continue working on hands-on projects, um, because that's really how you build your skills. You really don't build your skills, even on the job, you don't build your skills. On the job, you might just learn one or two things from working on a day-to-day, but you really build your skills outside of work. So you might see something on the job you guys are doing, and you just go and work on hands-on project outside of work just to learn it. Majority, or I would say 80 to 90% of everything I've learned wasn't on the job. It was done from the project, the same projects I'm sharing with you guys. I did everything outside of work. So on the job, just using my knowledge of things that I learned outside of work to maintain my job. And you'll pick up one or two things here. And because another reason why is because if you may work on a project now that they are using Terraform, for example, and they might be using container, and you go on another project and they are using EC2 instance, and they are using cloud formation. So you really don't learn, like if you're looking to say, okay, on the job is where I'm going to learn Terraform. On the job is where I'm going to, it doesn't work that way. Um, so you guys continue to work on projects outside of work. So Daniel, when you have time, just allocate some time towards your AWS goal and for the project, and just stick with it and continue to work on it. You'll be fine. Even if you feel you aren't making any progress, I guarantee you are making progress. When we don't work on something for a while, and the same thing happened to me when I haven't worked on something for a while, I tend to forget. Sometimes I'll have to go and reference my own video just to see how I configured something. So
Yeah.
working, just remaining consistent and keep working on it. That even if it's 30 minutes a day, 2 hours a week, is still something. You are still staying active in your learning. So that's what I'll say.
Okay. Thanks a lot,
Yeah,
man.
no problem. Is your name pronounced Jose? I hope I'm saying it right. Oh, welcome. Happy to have you here. So our Saturday
Thanks,
meetings
man.
is just it's just an open floor where everyone is working at their own pace. Everyone is at different stage in their journey. So the Saturday meetings a guaranteed way to catch me online. I know sometimes when you guys message me, it might take me a couple of hours or days to respond, but Saturdays is a guaranteed day that you know I'm going to be here. So it's kind of like a space where you are free to ask any questions you want. It could be questions on the project. It could just be general question on your cloud journey, what it's been so far, or if you have just any questions like that, uh, you can ask the question here. So uh, welcome. I'm happy to have you here. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Okay. Does anyone else have any question?
Yeah, I have a question, but can you give me a few minutes? I need to turn this water off. Give me 1 second. I have a
Okay,
question.
you're fine.
All right.
So, Shamika, whenever you return, you can just ask anytime. So, does anyone have any question in the meantime?
Yes, Aziz. I do.
Hey,
Um,
hey, how are you?
yep, I'm great. How you doing?
I'm fine.
Also,
Uh, Stuart, is this your first time joining or you've joined before?
this is my second time.
Your second time. I spoke to you before, right?
Yes, briefly.
Oh, okay. Did we have a Zoom call or was it just chat?
It was just a chat. On a call like this one.
Oh, okay. I spoke to someone are you from the UK?
Yes, I am.
I spoke to someone from UK, so I must have mistaken that him for you. Oh, welcome. I'm happy
Oh,
to have you here for the first time joining.
oh, brilliant. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
The question that I had was just for was it one of the first projects
Mm-hmm.
uh, hosting a website?
Mm-hmm.
I got to the section where you're supposed to like create like the EC2 instance
Mm-hmm.
and connect to it.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to connect to it fine going through the management console.
Mm-hmm.
But when I tried to do it using like the terminal, I got an error message, which I think it was asking me to like SSH into it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like using an endpoint, if I'm right, you don't need to do that. So I'm just thinking, do I need to create a key pair to SSH into it, or do I need to install
Okay.
something?
Oh, no, you don't. So do you still have that error open? If you want to share your screen, you can share a screen. But
Sure. I actually closed down the instance, but
okay.
I can show you the error message that I got.
Okay,
Uh,
sure.
uh,
Uh, let me stop sharing. If you want to share, you can share.
okay. So, um, yes, can you see that?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. Yeah, this is
Oh,
the
okay. I see you are trying to use the EC2 instance connect endpoint to connect to your EC2 instance
yes.
from your thing. Okay. So did you when you had your infrastructure or when you created your VPC, did you create your endpoint as well as part of your VPC? Do you
Uh,
remember?
yes, I believe I did. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So sometimes you get this. It is just command. Let me see. Error. AWS error. Argument operation value choice. Oh, okay. So sometimes you get this error, right? But first thing we need to make sure is that are you by your well, obviously you are on your computer.
Yes.
Um, let's check first. Let's check whether AWS CLI is installed on your computer. So open your Mac terminal.
Okay.
Um, is it open
Yeah.
on? Yeah, I can't. I'm only seeing your Slack message.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. So when you share your screen, you can share like the desktop, or because I think maybe you're just sharing just Slack, or maybe if you are using multiple screen, your terminal is probably on a different screen.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm sharing everything. I'll stop sharing and then start again.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. So I can still see your Slack messages now.
Right. Yeah. I don't think I'm able to do both at the same time.
So when you click share screen, right? Do you see, usually Zoom has different options of how you can share. You can either share a specific app you have open, or
Right.
you can share a desktop, which will share pretty much all your entire desktop, which includes all the apps you have open on that desktop.
Oh, right. Okay.
So how many options do you see when you are sharing? You should see
I've
like
got
multiple
face to
options.
face. Oh, right. I see
Okay,
desktop.
there you
So
go. Oh, there you go. Now I can. Okay. So okay, yes, now I can see your Mac terminal. All right. So first, let's check whether AWS CLI is installed. It's been a while since I ran that command. Does anyone remember what the command is? I'll just look in the documentation. I think
Yeah,
it's AWS AWS something.
dash version.
Version. Okay. Thank you. So AWS dash version. All right. So you do have AWS CLI installed. Good. That's the first thing we need to check. Option. So AWS EC2 instance connect. Is your VPC and your endpoint still in your account, or did you delete it?
they should still be open. I didn't.
Okay, sure. Let's launch an EC2 instance, then we'll try to SSH into it again. All right. So you're on the VPC dashboard. Before you go to the EC2 service, can you please click on the endpoint? Let me see if it is there.
Okay.
Like 2 down, 3 down. There you go. Okay, perfect. All right. So launch your EC2 instance. Okay. So make sure you select your VPC that the endpoint is in. Yeah. I like how you add don't touch on that default VPC, but you know that VPC, anytime you guys feel like you messed things up in it, you can recreate it. I can show you once we are done. Remind me to. It's very easy. It's literally one button. It will recreate everything for you.
All right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Right. And
so it's the first project. So you can put it in your private app subnet since we are using the endpoint.
okay.
Yeah, put it. You can put it in the private app subnet just to test everything. Then select your security groups.
I should enable the.
Oh no, that will be disabled because remember when an instance is in the private subnet, we don't want it to have a public IP address.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So when you select private subnet, the setting on it is to disable that. So the disable is fine.
Right. Okay.
And you're going to select your app. Yeah, security group. Yeah. And yep, I believe
And that's everything.
that's all we need. Yeah. Is asking you proceed without a key. Yeah. Oh, I like this new option AWS just asked. Normally, it will give you an error before, so now they give you the option to select it, which is cool.
Cool.
All right. So once that instance is running, first, we will test whether we can SSH into it from your console, which you said you already confirmed that you can do, but we'll just test it just to be sure. Then after that, we will try the we'll try connecting to it through the endpoint from your terminal.
Okay, great.
Okay, it's running now. So try connecting to it from your console. So you have to select it first. So select it here. Then click connect. I think somehow you clicked on the Zoom pencil. Yeah, you go.
Okay, great.
All right. Then scroll down. Click connect using EC2 instance connect endpoint. Then connect. Okay, perfect. So that means your endpoint is working. Now we need to try to connect to it from your terminal. So open your terminal. Let's see. Let me find that command. And sometimes it's just, it could be how we run the command sometimes.
Okay.
Let me find the command. Let's make sure I have the right one. Why can't I? Oh, sorry. Not the wrong thing. I just want to find the command. Okay. So the command is, can you open like a notepad, or if you have Visual Studio Code installed? Usually that is preferred, but any notepad would do too.
I think I've got Visual Studio Code.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to send the command to you on Slack, and you can paste it in Visual Studio Code. Then we would update it if I can. I just saw your name this morning. I'm not sure. Okay, let me just look for. Okay, I'll send it to you. Okay. So here we just have to update the last part of the command to the ID of your EC2 instance.
Okay. Okay, does that look okay?
Yes, it looks perfect. Then copy and let's Paste it in your terminal. Once you open your terminal, paste it there, press enter. Okay. You know, another thing is, let me check. What is the latest version of AWS CLI? Let me check it on my computer. Okay. So I've seen this issue before, and it could be the same issue Stuart is facing. So this is just for everyone. It could be that, and I've had this issue before, right? Where it is saying that it can't really find this. It can't find the CLI command you are running. And the issue may be, the first place we'll look is that the version of AWS CLI you are using may be out of date. When I check my version, it's been a while since I installed my AWS CLI. And when I check my version, it is showing 2.13. And I'm looking at your version, it is 2.11. So that could be the issue. Because on the previous version of AWS CLI, the endpoint connect, it wasn't included in those versions because that feature is relatively new. I think AWS just released it last year. So next, what we'll do is we'll update your AWS CLI, then we'll run the command again and we'll see what we get.
Okay.
So did you remember that when you installed your AWS CLI, and how did you install it? Did you use Homebrew to install it, or was it something you installed manually yourself?
I believe it was Homebrew. I can remember going onto the Homebrew
Okay.
website.
Okay, sure. Let's look. I'm going to look up Homebrew command to update AWS CLI. Just a second.
That's the command to update it, I think. Well, that's the newest one.
Okay, thank
for
you.
Mac.
Is that a Homebrew command, or is that the one from AWS documentation?
It's from the documentation. I'm not sure if you could do it the
Yeah.
Homebrew, but that's just the command.
Since he used Homebrew to install it, then he's gonna have to update it using their whatever their command is too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's why I was trying to figure out where the command is. It's saying
This one?
yeah, I'm on a different screen. Just a second. So try pip install.
I think it's just brew update AWS CLI.
Brew update AWS CLI. Okay. Yeah, I'm saying the one on Stack Overflow. So we'll just try that first. If that don't work, then we'll do the brew update AWS CLI. So
it can't find the command. It says command not found.
It might be how. I saw it just now. Just a second. Let me go back to the Homebrew's documentation. AWS CLI. This is brew installed. No, I'm looking for the upgrade one. To the chat. Just gonna ask ChatGPT.
I think that command means that Homebrew is not installed.
Oh, Homebrew is not installed. Oh, that's so. Oh, I wasn't looking at the screen. So, let me just even go to Homebrew. We'll check whether Homebrew. So if Homebrew is not installed on your computer, then you probably installed AWS CLI or in other ways, which is fine. We'll because then that just allows us to use most likely you use the regular AWS way, which we can probably update it using the command Shamika provided.
Yeah, I don't have it.
And you should also maybe download if you're using Visual Code, you can also add the CLI AWS CLI extension because it'll automatically recognize that you're using a Mac.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So let's try the command I found on Stack Overflow. That might work. So try pip install. Let me send it to you. Okay, I just sent it to you. Pip no file. Yeah. How did you? So let's just do it this way. Let's install Homebrew on your computer. Then we would. When you guys are downloading stuff on your Mac computer, it is better to. I mean, in my opinion, it is better to use Homebrew because it just makes life easy, especially for Mac. For most of those packages, they already have it's the easiest way to install it, and which is just running a command to install it. So I always recommend using Homebrew to install any software on your computer on Mac.
Yeah, it says it's much
Okay.
easier. And then once you do that,
Right.
he could just put brew,
Right.
upgrade AWS CLI.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Stuart, go to a new tab, go to Homebrew, type Homebrew in the search. Select that. Okay. So to install it, you are going to run that command in that box. Yep. And I think when you install Homebrew, it also installs Python for you. Enter your password. When you are typing your password for your computer, it won't show on the screen, but just enter it. And I think when you are installing Homebrew, it also installs Python in the process as well.
Okay, great.
So it's saying updating it. Okay, you do have it. It looks like you have it because now it's saying next steps to run these two commands. So run those two commands, right? Run the so run that command and the other command as well, and the one below it. Yeah, just copy it or select the other one too. Select both together.
Okay.
So if you select multiple commands, it will run them simultaneously on your computer. Like it will run them one after the other. I mean, so you can just paste it there and it should run it. There you go. Perfect. So now this is the command to install AWS CLI. We'll just run that command and see what we get. Because I think even if you run it, it would if you have one installed, it would upgrade it for you, update it. So it's that one.
Okay, so you want me to do the
No. Just ignore the first one. Run the new one that I sent, the brew one.
Okay.
Yeah. So Stuart, while that is running, and for those that have Mac computer, Windows has its own too. On Windows, it is Chocolatey, and on Mac, it is Homebrew. So Homebrew is the easiest way to install any software on your computer. So how it works is, if you want, let's say you want to install, in this case, we are installing AWS CLI. First, you have to make sure Homebrew is installed on your computer, which we've done. So moving forward, if there is any software you want to install on your computer, what you have to do is to just search for the Homebrew's documentation on how to install that software. Usually you'll find the page, it is just a command. They will have the command there to install AWS CLI, copy this command and run it in your terminal. And that's all you have to do. It will do all the backend stuff for you that you don't even have to worry about setting all those things up, right? And it also makes it easier to update those software in the future if you need to update them, or even if you need to remove them from your computer. It is easier to use Homebrew to do all those things. So moving forward now, let's say when you get to your Docker project, you need to install Docker. You just go to, so what I usually do is in Google, I would type, so let's try one, open like a new tab and like your web browser tab, and just type Homebrew install Python or something. So Homebrew, you can even just type something descriptive like Homebrew Python or install Python. Homebrew install Python. TON. Right. So you can see it will usually give you the first one will show up at the top, right? So click on that and scroll down. So this one is not what I'm looking for. I think, let me just give you the website. This is because they have the regular Homebrew website. And the reason why I'm not using the search on their website is sometimes a lot of those commands don't show up there, but there's like a different Homebrew site that shows it. I think it's the one that says family.brew.sh. So I'll send you that link. It's probably just better to use that. This is the link. So once you are on this page, this is the CLI one, right? So you can see that was where I got the command from. So if you, okay, that is done. Oh no, don't paste it there.
Oh.
You already ran it. So so you can see it's telling you your AWS CLI is already installed, which is good too. If you run the command multiple times, it's not going to give you an error. It's just going to check. And you can see now that it's telling you that your AWS CLI is on version 2.17.
Okay, great.
So type AWS -- version now. So perfect. So now your AWS CLI is on 2.17. Previously, you were on 1.3. Was it 1.3 or 1.1? We were 1.1. Okay. All right. Now run that your command we were try to use to SSH into. I think you cut it, so you might have to paste it back. So press Control Z and see if it comes back. I'm not sure if it will. I mean Command Z on Mac. No, yeah, there you go. Yes. And there you go.
Great. Oh, excellent.
So remember when I was telling everyone that troubleshooting is not something you guys will ever escape being a cloud engineer. And I always like when we have issues like this, it's not really an issue, but when we have something like this, because it's always an opportunity to learn how to look at the issue you are having and how to address it where to look at. You guys saw that the first thing I did is make sure that he has the endpoint. Then I made sure that the endpoint is working by trying it in the management console, because if it works in the management console, it would also work from his personal computer. Then the next thing is we make sure he has AWS CLI installed, because in order to connect using the endpoint from your computer, you need to have AWS CLI installed. Then usually if you guys are confident that you have AWS CLI installed on your computer, and you are trying to run any particular AWS CLI command, and it is telling you that this is not a valid AWS CLI command, that was the error message Stuart had, then I recommend you guys to always look at the version of the AWS CLI you currently have installed, because most likely that command is not included in the version you have installed. So you would have to update your AWS CLI to the latest version, which would include all the AWS CLI command. I've had this issue before. So personally, when I was working on a project, I've had the same issue before. So that was how I knew where to look.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
No problem. So thank you, Stuart. Do you have any other questions, or this was the one question you had?
Well, this was the only one for like relevant for now. That's great. Thank you.
No problem. All right. Does anyone else have any question?
Hey, good morning, Fizz. This is Sean.
Hey, Sean, how are you?
Congratulations on your child too, man.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem. Hey, so I ran into an issue as well. It was on another project on the ECS.
EKS?
Not EKS, but the ECS.
ECS. Okay.
Yeah, the one with the dynamic app. So I don't want you to solve the problem for me. I just want you maybe to get into the right direction.
Sure.
I got down to where you attach the IAM policy to the task role, and I'm getting it's basically throwing an error where it says basically my ARN is not correct.
Okay.
So what I did so far, which I know is going out of the way, I went into the consult, and I just did it right there. But I know I want to import it back into my code. How would you resolve this issue? Just go with that.
Okay. So your ARN. So what? Do you mind showing me the error at least, so I can know exactly what to show?
Yeah, sure.
So
Okay.
because when we create the role, right, we are always in the role, we are specifying what service we want to give access to, right? So in this case, you are trying to give I think the only thing we need the ARN for is we have the S3 bucket that has our environment file, and we want our ECS service to have access to it. So whatever you are giving it access to, you have to so if you see something that's saying the ARN is wrong, you need to go and confirm. First, you need to understand what are you giving your ECS service access to, right? Then you need to go and confirm that the ARN of that service is the same one as what you have in your policy.
Okay, I did look at that, and when
the tax execution rule 400, tax execution policy. Okay, go ahead, I'm listening.
So I did look at that, and I compared it to what it was throwing out, and it looks good. But then I know when you was going through the project, you used a prior project, the Docker project, and you grabbed the env file and you put it in the S3 bucket. So when I looked at, I must have deleted that project, the file. So I went into my Amazon account and I grabbed it and I put it in there. I don't know if that's causing an issue, but it seems to be when I run it, it comes up like it comes up like as a locked file, like somebody else is trying to open up their the TF state.
So this is your Terraform project.
Yeah, this is the Terraform project. Yep.
Okay. Can I see your code? Because then the issue is in your code, how you are creating the ARN.
Yeah, you want me to just share my screen, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I know you don't want me to help you solve it, but I'll just give you a hint if I see something. Yeah.
All right, let me share my screen because I'm on my desktop now. Hold on.
Okay. So this is your infrastructure. So I see you're using the module. So let's go in the module where you are creating your ARN. I'm not sure if you're speaking. You might be on mute. I can't hear anything. Can you guys hear me? Hello? Is it on my end or is it on Sean's end? Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Okay, Sean, I can't hear you. It looks
Can
like.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
All right. Can you go on your module, your backend module? That's where we will check.
Okay, hold on. That's good.
Oh no, not this one. I mean sorry, I said backend. Well, I always call it backend module. You know the module itself where we are calling the resources from.
Okay. So
It will be in like a separate whole. I think it's the one we uploaded into our GitHub repository. You know where you have the actual modules for the resources you are creating.
is this because this is the main file under the
Yeah.
IAM
So
role?
go on your main file, select your main.tf.
Okay, that's what I got selected right now under the IAM. Under the IAM role.
Am I seeing something else? No, you have your backend selected. I'm seeing your backend.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, let me.
Is the screen freezing? Maybe you asked because I'm seeing that it is showing me that you selected the backend.tf.
Okay, maybe I need to go back in when I'm sharing. I'm gonna stop sharing. I'll come back and share again. Hold on.
Okay, sure.
And then share.
Okay.
Okay, can you see me now?
Oh yes, I can see it now.
Okay, sorry.
All right. Yeah. So I
I only
think
shared that one
initially
page.
you were sharing one thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. So select your IAM role. Okay. We are creating the role.
If you need me to string, just tell me what I need to do. Strings, scroll it
Okay.
down, whatever.
Yeah, sure. Just a second. Let me look at your error message again.
Okay.
So it says in your, oh, okay. In your error message, it says the module task execution rule. It'll be in the module task execution rule, IAM rule, main.tf, line 62. Okay, IAM rule, ACS tax, attached policy, line 62. Task execution rule. IAM rule, ACS task execution rule.
Honestly, this one has me puzzled because I've been trying for like the last day and a half. So
it's just saying that the role name you are trying to create is not valid, right? So just a second, let me. So this is more of like a Terraform thing. It might just be the way, I think it's just the way you are interpolating the name of the, let's say, close folder.
yeah,
So
if it takes too much time, I can figure it out. I mean,
no, it's fine. Don't worry about the time. So do you mind running it again? Because if you run it, then I can see for sure where the issue is coming from.
Yeah, sure.
So try running your Terraform apply again or whatever, so we can see that error you get. Then I'll be able to pinpoint exactly where we need to look.
So let me go back to this one, and then I'll open it up. And this part right here, I'm trying to figure out if this, when I hit this button, you'll see if I'm doing something it's not right. Something isn't right. I know, because you'll see it's gonna lock, and then I have to force unlock. You see how it come up?
So this always happens anytime you have your let's say you apply Terraform, because what happens is when you do Terraform apply, Terraform is going to lock your state file. So that's why we have that line 8 in this backend file you have open. We are locking your state file. Terraform always temporarily locks the state file while you are applying changes to the infrastructure. So that way, let's say at your job, you have multiple engineers working on the same code at the same time. So when you are applying, Terraform prevents other people from applying to the same infrastructure at the same time. So if while Terraform is applying and the state is locked, you abruptly kill your terminal, it would give you this error. So anytime you see this, to unlock it, it is very simple. Go into your AWS console. I'll show you. Since you are using DynamoDB to lock it, I'll show you how to unlock it.
Okay.
So you just have to make sure whenever you are running Terraform, don't abruptly kill your terminal while Terraform is still, because then it would. Or if you run Terraform apply and Terraform is asking you for an input and you and you close your terminal, it will still give you that. So go to DynamoDB. Okay. Select tables on the left side.
Yeah.
So which one are we using for your project? Terraform state log. Looking at your backend file, which one of those state log are you using?
I think it's the 80.
84. Are you sure?
Let me go back.
Yeah, just looking at your Terraform code, whatever the name is there. So, no,
Yeah, state lock. I guess it's state lock. Okay. State lock. So this one.
Yeah, select that one.
And you said this happens anytime you abruptly get out of the console. I mean, out of the command
terminal,
line.
Yeah, while Terraform is running. Yeah.
Okay.
So scroll down. Yeah, it's there. Scroll down. Is there something that below it? State log. So select explore items on the left side. Maybe it's that. Let me see something.
Oh.
Okay, I think this is what I'm looking for. There you go. So when you click on the explore items, and you select your state log you are using, right? When you come in here, anytime you see the items in your state log, whichever one has the information, that is currently the one locking your state.
Oh, okay.
So you can delete it. If you delete it and you run your Terraform, it was going to unlock it. When you delete it, it's going to unlock it. Then when you run your Terraform apply, then another state log will show up here. So anytime you guys, especially when you guys are working on a Terraform projects and you are using DynamoDB to lock your state, this is how to come and unlock it when you get that error. So it shouldn't give you that error again now if you run that command again.
Okay. Let's do it again.
There's also like a Terraform command you can run with the state log being false or whatever. But I've used it before, but I always just like going to the table and deleting the item from. You might have to buy do Terraform in it.
Okay. I'll just come back out and then come.
So because you abruptly killed it too, it might do the same
Oh man. Sorry.
It might do the same thing, but we'll see. Yeah, after you've run Terraform apply, then you can't abruptly kill your terminal. You can't. You have to wait for Terraform to be done before you close your terminal.
Okay, great advice. Yeah, that helped. So I know that now. Wow. And quick question too, while we waiting. I had did an interview a while ago, and the interviewer asked me about setting up multiple environments in Terraform, and I said modules, and then I said workspaces, and he was trying to ask me what was the difference between the two and how they were used. And I didn't know how to exactly answer that. I knew you could set up the different environments with modules as well as workspaces, but do you know like the difference, I guess the difference between using modules compared to workspaces?
So you will use both, right? So your state is locked again because you abruptly. So you have to go in your DynamoDB table and unlock it.
Okay.
Then your answer was right, but they both kind of like do different things. So refresh, it should show up there. There you go. They both you use both to set up your environment, but it was just probably how you use both to set up your environment, but they do different things, right? So your Terraform module is how you can, the Terraform module allows you to reuse your code. So see, now it is running. So Terraform module allows you to reuse your code, meaning that the backend code you wrote, it is the same backend code you will use for all the environments you want to, deploy your infrastructure in. But then the workspace, I haven't really used workspace in Terraform at all because at my job, we use just different branches in our repo. So the workspace just allows you to create a specific workspace for the environment you are trying to deploy to. I would say just think of it as, because at work we use a different branch. So think of it as for whatever, let's say it's dev you want to deploy to, then you can use the Terraform workspace for that. Then for another workspace, you can use a different, you can use another workspace for, like, let's say prod, but the workspace allows you to have different versions of your code, even though you are using the same code. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you, let's say in the dev workspace, for your EC2 instance, you have a setting in that code that says you're using T2 micro. Then in a different workspace that you are using to deploy to prod, the setting for EC2 instance in there can be what's like a T2 medium or something. You understand?
Right.
So both are needed. So the workspaces is how you specify each environment, and the Terraform module is just how you use the same code for the different workspaces.
Okay, gotcha.
All right.
That makes sense.
So here on your code where it is giving you that warning thing, that warning stuff, that just means that in your backend module, since Terraform updated that code for the, I believe it's the how we allocate the IP address for our NAT gateway. So you just have to go and update it. I can show you, and that error should go away.
Okay.
So go to while this is running, go to your NAT gateway. I'll show you your backend module.
Oh, my backend module. Okay.
Not that one, but like the the module itself where you have all the resources.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. So not gateway. There, up,
Up.
up,
Okay.
up some more.
Oh, okay. I
There
see.
you go.
Main.
Main. So you see line 3 and line 12 is even pointing it out. That's why I asked those yellow thing. It means like those are depreciated, but it will still work, right? That argument is depreciated. So what they change it to is domain. So you see how you have VPC, true equals true. What they change it to is it should be domain equals VPC.
Domain right here.
Equals VPC.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you have to quote it.
Both of them.
Yeah, quote your VPC. I mean, make it
in the documentation.
Make it a screen. Yeah, I can show you. Yeah, it's in the documentation. So make it a string by adding like quotes.
Quotes. Okay.
Yeah, to your VPC, just your VPC. All right. So go to the Terraform documentation for. So copy that AWS EIP, or you can even type it AWS EIP. Terraform AWS EIP.
Say that again.
You see how on line 2, the resource type Terraform, I mean, not AWS EIP. You can paste that in Google and it will take you to the documentation without your resource name, just your resource type, AWS EIP.
Okay, right there, that one.
That one, you won't find the EIP one on Google because that is what you're calling it in your code. So,
Okay.
but yeah, just copy the resource type. Yeah, that one.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, paste it. And I think you paste something else. Oh, is this the browser you use?
Yeah, it's a
okay.
privacy browser.
Oh, I see. Well, you learn something new every day. Okay. So when you search stuff on it, is it search friendly? Does it usually bring out what you're looking for the most part?
Yeah. Let's say it uses the Google framework. It just works better with privacy.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So,
all right. Yeah, select that first one. Scroll down. Keep scrolling down. So you can see here, that's what we had before, right? Scroll up, and it's probably just the scroll up. Sure. So I mean, I know the results you are getting is because of the privacy thing you are using. It's probably not giving you the latest documentation, right? But scroll down to the argument section. Let's see if the argument is here, because the argument is not even showing up here. Argument, right? Yeah. So this, go back. Let's look for this is a previous documentation version. This is not the latest one.
Want to try that one right here? It's not.
If I send the documentation to you, will it still work with your stuff? Let me get the documentation and I'll send it to you.
Let me try Google first. Let me just go
Okay.
to Google and see if Google give me a better search. Maybe.
Okay. All right, scroll down. You can see right there. They don't have an example in their own example, but if you go to the argument section.
Okay. Argument.
So right there, right? Argument reference. I think I saw it. Scroll up. Understand?
Domain. I see it. Domain.
There you go. So you can see those are attribute reference, right?
Right. Yes.
So you can see right before it used, that's the one. It used to be the VPC one you had, but they've removed it. You can see we no longer have the VPC there anymore.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Fees.
All right. Okay, Jose. I'll see you next time. Thank you for joining. All right. So now it's still, your code is still running.
Yeah, I don't know too.
It's not giving you the error in the game. Maybe you fixed the issue and you didn't realize you fixed it.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Wait,
if I have
did you? But was the issue coming up right after you run your Terraform apply, right? Or was it coming up at some point while Terraform is applying?
It would come up at the end. So what I would do, like I would get the error you seen, and then I'll do a force, and then it will go on through, and then I would still get that flag. But I think I can get to the answer. I just need to kind of go through the documentation, I guess, and I'll figure it out.
So the issue you are having is with that the first one you'd send with your IAM role is you won't find the answer in the documentation. It is how you are creating your role, right? Your role, when you create an IAM role, it needs to be in a certain format, right? So how you are interpolating. So when we have certain things in our code that we are using to interpolate the name of the role, you have to make sure what you have there, when all that stuff is put together, it will create the right format of the role. That is what your code is complaining about. Don't worry about the time. I just want to see, we'll see when this runs and see if you get that error. But let me show you what I mean. So go to your backend file where you have the role, where you have all your resources, right?
Where I have what?
Where you have your resources, the backend one.
Okay. You talking about on my module?
Yeah, your module, that one. Right.
Okay.
So your IAM role. Right. Yeah, scroll up. Thank you all the way at the bottom. All right. Okay. So you see here, this is how we are creating the role, right? So the role name is, you see how when we have VPC on line 57, we have our project name, -var environment, -ECS tax execution role. So what that means is when it is creating the name, it would get whatever the value of project name is, then it will add the hyphen to it, and whatever the environment, the value of environment is, it will hyphen it. And that is how it will form a whole value for that.
Okay.
You understand? Right. So in your ECS project, we are also doing the same thing where we are interpolating the role, right? So it is telling you that the role you are trying to create is wrong. You won't find that in the documentation. You just have to pay attention to your interpolating whatever you put in your code. When it is creating the role, you have to make sure that it is the right format for the role, because AWS role has to be in a specific format.
Okay. So I kind of got it. Okay, syntax issue that I need to go through.
Exactly. So exactly, you said it perfectly. It is more of a syntax issue than something you will find in the documentation. Your code looks fine.
Okay. Awesome.
So you might just have a typo somewhere, or the way you've put the stuff does not quite meet the format for AWS IAM role, because your stuff is saying that the ARN you specify is not valid.
Okay, I'll find it. I'll find it.
So your ARM, so this might even be in your ECS thing. So go in your ECS module here. Where is your ECS module?
Which one would that be?
I don't see it here. Maybe you haven't created it yet.
Yeah, I don't think I got that because I'm at the tax, I guess the tax role. So this is kind of like building the roles and then
okay. This is creating the role.
Yeah, that'll be coming behind it.
So where are you putting role? Invalid input. Main.tf line 62. ECS. But you have the value ECS tax execution role there. Right. Okay. So no, that's just it. So that's the role name. So you have IAM role ECS tax execution role dot name. Let your stuff finish running, then I'll find it for you. So it is just saying that the role you are trying to create, it is not it's more of a syntax issue.
Okay. All right. I got it. When it finished, I'll tell you and maybe I'll share it again.
Okay, sure.
I'll stop right here.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. Does anyone else have any question?
Yeah, I still have my question.
Okay, sure.
So let me see. Let me share my screen. So I'm redoing this project right here, right? This is the dynamic one, but I want to use my own front application.
Okay.
So in here, do I just skip here and use, because I don't want to use RDS. I want to use DocumentDB because it's equivalent to MongoDB, and the application I have is a MerStack application. So I would just skip this part right here, right, and just use the security groups for DocumentDB instead of RDS security group, and then create the DocumentDB, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, you know, the database engine in AWS is RDS, right? So for your DocumentDB, how does that work? You know, you have RDS, and within RDS, there's different engines you can launch your RDS. You can launch.
Yeah, so that's what I was looking at, because I went into RDS, but I didn't see DocumentDB. I think, let me see, because I know you have the.
And they probably
I don't know if DocumentDB is more. DocumentDB is like a non-relational database, so it wouldn't be like something like DominoDB, because I haven't looked. I mean, I'm just now working on the DocumentDB because I was working on the Mongo side. But when I was looking in document and RDS, where is it at here? Creating a database. I was looking here and I didn't see it. That's why I was figuring out. I figured that it's not going to be in here because it's a non-relational database, right? All these ones are relational databases, right?
Okay. Yeah. This are yeah. Right. So you should. So you're saying that the one you are using with your code is more of like a DynamoDB type of database.
Yeah, because it's like you see here, like this is Mongo. Oh, am I sharing my screen? You guys see?
Yes, I can see. I can see.
Oh, for some reason I'm not showing it on my end.
Yeah.
So this is, you know how they have the MongoDB, right? Now, AWS made a equivalent version, which is now DocumentDB. So what I want to do is go ahead and bring that over. I'm rebuilding the application, and I want to use the Amazon DocumentDB. So I was just wondering, like,
yeah. I don't think there's anything you have to set up your infrastructure wise. The connection will probably just be in your code.
Okay, so that's what I want to like. So when I get to now doing the inside infrastructure as code, instead of using the RDS one, do I just use the credentials for the DocumentDB inside Terraform?
Yeah. So
Okay.
however you, and is there a documentation for DocumentDB? Because
I can
on
go to
how
Terraform. I'm
to,
pretty sure Terraform will have it. Let me go to Terraform
so that's
because
the
I know I will
best,
have to probably write.
that's the best way to look, like DocumentDB. Let me even look it up. You say it's called DocumentDB AWS.
Yes, it's equivalent to MongoDB. Because you can even deploy it in MongoDB, like they have the option to deploy it with Azure AWS provider. But I'm not going to do it. I want to do it. I want to redo it because I did that already. So I want to do it now, using everything through AWS. Import the I haven't even built the database, to be honest. So I just want to do it from scratch, the database, and put some fake data inside there, just so I can finish up this project.
You know, AWS has a document, so is that what you've been telling me, the AWS document DB? Is that what you've been telling me this time?
Yeah, well, AWS have a document for it, but I'm just AWS doesn't tell me how to use what type of code I need to use in Terraform to create the database through Terraform.
So they have it here, AWS DocumentDB documentation. I can send it to you. Right.
Okay. Does it tell you how to create it in Terraform with the code?
Not really, but I haven't looked that far. I just found the documentation.
Okay,
but
I'm gonna look on this side too and see.
Really, the first time you should do it is try to just figure out how to do it manually first.
Okay.
So if you know how to do it manually, the Terraform part is the easiest part.
Okay.
So I wouldn't go straight to Terraform, especially for a resource that I'm configuring for the first time.
Right.
So let's figure out first how to create this document DB in the management console.
Okay.
Creating the management console and testing your application, making sure it works. But then if it works, then we'll figure out how to implement it with Terraform. Terraform is very easy to do with Terraform if you know how to do it manually. Because I haven't set this up before, I don't really know how. At first, I need to get understanding how it works.
Okay.
I sent the documentation link in the.
Oh, you did already? Okay,
in the
great.
Slack. I mean, I'm not Slack. The Zoom chat.
Okay. Yeah, because I set it. It was easy to set it up in MongoDB, so it shouldn't be that much harder to set it up in AWS because it's supposed to be easier, more easier.
It shouldn't. It just seems like you have multiple availability zones, instance. Yeah, AWS stuff. One of the reasons why I like AWS is any of their services is relatively easy to set up. So, yeah. So,
okay, so this is the guide to get started right here on it. Okay. Okay, yes, I'll build it first and then I'll redo it. Because that project was done, I just wanted to redo it.
Sure.
Using a different way to do it now.
Okay, sure. So if you figure out to, and I'll look into it if I have time, but I don't want to promise that I'll look into it and I'll get sidetracked by other stuff. But if you figure out to create it in the management console, right? We can have a meeting, you walk me through it, then I'll show you exactly how to do it with Terraform. Trust me, doing it with Terraform is the easiest part.
Okay.
But having an understanding of how to even, what are the things we need to set up in AWS, that is more important for installing it with Terraform.
Yeah, and it says it's the prerequisites to create the AWS Cloud9 environment.
Yeah.
Create security groups. Yeah.
Yeah. Create the DocumentDB cluster.
And I already have the MongoDB shell installed already. So I don't need to do this step over because it's already installed.
Okay.
So
okay, cool.
That's one question I had.
Thank you. That's the first time I'm hearing about this, but I'm also learning something new. But I'll look into it some more when I have time.
Yeah, a lot of the software engineers use it as a MERS stack, but you know how it's just no different than LAMP stack, but it's a MERS stack.
I see.
And it's MongoDB, Express, JS, React, and Node.js. Okay. So I already built it already. I had built the whole stack because it was a project that we did, an event we did with with CGI. Unfortunately, I had to drop out because I didn't get the information until 2 days, and get into group until like 2 days before. So, but I was like, look, I can't participate because I need to be able to make sure it works correctly with the group. But they like my idea and stuff, so I was able to meet with the VP. He was so nice this weekend, and I told him I wanted the group. I'm gonna redo the project again over because I did it on my own night before I got into the group like that to meet with the group. So I'm just going to rebuild it again this time, and I want to use it and use my AWS platform to deploy it. So.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I was about to tell you too. I did leave a message in there because I didn't know who exactly got hired to CGI. I remember a while back somebody got hired to CGI, and I can't remember who it was. But I also referred your program to him because so I sent him an email and I was telling you I had sent him your information, but I wasn't sure who the guy was. He was like that because he was like, "How do you find out about CGI?" I was like, "Well, I knew about CGI because somebody else got hired on. I couldn't remember their name." And I started looking into the company. So we had a nice chat, and hopefully it may lead to a job with them.
Oh, also you're in communication with someone that works at CGI now.
Who is it that worked? Okay, I didn't remember who it was, but I just know they had an offer.
So the person you talking to is that also someone that works at CGI?
He's the vice president. Yeah.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know that Perscolas. Well, it's not the Perscolas chapter, but but the Perscolas Atlanta chapter. They have a partnership with them. So, one of my old classmates sent me the link, but by the time we know about it, it was kind of too late. So we kind of jumped in the last minute. So it was not really conducive to us. I think David's on here too. I think David ended up dropping out too because it was just too late for us to really participate, fully actively participate with the group on the project. We didn't get to plan with them or nothing. But again, they liked my ideas and my feedback. So I had when the day that I went to the first meeting, I had reached out to them on LinkedIn, get my little networking done. So I linked up I chat with him on LinkedIn. I chat with the other guy on LinkedIn. And then he got back to me last week and was like, he apologized. He was on leave because I was still trying to get in the group when I had reached out to them. And then he reached back out to me and I told him the situation. He was like, "Oh yeah, I love your feedback." So we got to meet on Zoom, not on meetings, Teams this past Wednesday. And we chat for about an hour. And he was telling me, he was like, "Yes, continue to work your network." He said, "Right now, and you talking to me, you about 80% ahead of everybody else." As far as working your network and getting a job and stuff like that. Then I told him I applied for 2 positions with CGI because I applied when I seen the that somebody else got a job in our group, and that's when I reached out and looked at their company. I didn't want to ask the person. I don't know who it was, but I didn't want to ask them, "Can you refer me?" Because they just started working there. So I just went myself and just looked at the company.
I have someone at CGI I can refer you to. She actually sent me a message that if there's anyone that is looking for a position, she sent me the link that you guys can check out the link for like
and see that's what I said. I didn't want to do that because if somebody says they looking and they refer you, then that's different. But I just didn't want to go and ask right there because I didn't know who it was that got hired on. I just thought somebody got hired on do CGI. But what he did was he took my resume and then he sent it to he reached out to me again yesterday and to make an introduction to one of the senior consultants that's there. She probably she might know who it is because she's out in Atlanta. It just depends on where your the person that you know is at, but they're based in Atlanta, and his person name is Heldenel, something like that. I can't remember right now, but he made the introduction to them yesterday, so hopefully I'll speak to the senior consultant on Monday because they was out of the office when he sent me an email and introduced us and stuff. So but anyway, you might get some people that might be coming from CGI to your program because he was like, "Can I get the link for?" Because I was telling him how we meet on Saturdays and stuff like that, and I told him I said one of the people that was in the group got hired to CGI. I just don't remember who the person's name was. He was asking me, maybe he was trying to get them
Oh, wow.
the money for the referral. But he was like, you know who it is? I said, I don't remember because it was a while ago. I think this was happening back in April, right? April, the person got hired on. So the chat don't go that far back. So I don't remember who it is, the name of the person, but they got hired on the CGI. I said, and that's what made me get interested in learning more about the company and try to apply for a position. So, but it was a good conversation. So I'm hoping it leads to a job.
I'll find the person and I'll send you a message on your
Okay.
Snapchat. Yeah, I'll
Right.
send you a message.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. Well, and this person, if he's open to it, I'll be more than happy to speak to him too. So maybe there's a way, if they need some type of training or
Well, I gave him everything. I gave
that's
him your LinkedIn page. I gave
Oh,
him your
wow.
LinkedIn
Okay.
page. I gave him, you know
Cool.
how we have our referral from for the group. I gave him a
Mhm.
referral to show you, because you know what happens is that he was explaining to me that they get these different clients, and some of their clients may use, because you know they're also a big government contractor, so federal and state, right? And so they have some contracts with clients where they may be using AWS and the other might be using Azure. So as a couple of people that I talked to when we was doing the project that now want to get into learning the AWS cloud. So he was like, I told my son, I'm going to send you the information by email. He said, okay, good. He said, because I already got some people I want to reach out to about it.
Cool.
So that's why I said, I don't know who's going to reach out, but you might be getting some people from CGI reaching out to you. So,
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you so much. I really
no
appreciate
problem.
that. Thank you.
Yeah. Mm.
Hello, Alex. How are you? All right. Does anyone else have any question?
If that error code came back up, you want me to share it or you
Sure.
figure it out?
Sure. Okay. So you error, say you see over there, error attaching IAM policy. The IAM policy it is trying to attach is the one that has AWS, ARN AWS, blah, 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 that to, so it is having issues attaching the policy you create to your task execution rule. So it is having issue attaching your policy to your rule. Operation error attachment 400, blah, blah, blah. Invalid input. ARN, see over there is not valid. Okay. So then it's telling us where to look. It's saying look in the module. Let's see a task execution rule. Line 62. So I can almost, this is more likely like a syntax issue. So, and I don't always like this, not that I don't like it, this type of thing you'll see when we find what the issue is, it will be one little thing like that. Okay, let's go to, first let me look in your main.tf file. I want to just make sure your issue is not there. Task execution rule, okay, over here, all we have is the bucket name. All right, cool. All right, let me look in your module for the IAM rule. Okay. So do you mind sending copy this whole code and send it to me, please? On Slack. I want to just compare it to mine. So just press Control A. It should copy everything for you. It's the easiest way to do it. There you go. Control A. Once you click anywhere on your screen, Control A will select everything. Yeah. Send it, please send it in like code format on Slack.
It's like, okay.
I think there's just Oh, this the second one. So the first one is also a code thing, but you can use that for one single line. The second one is if you want to send like a whole block of code.
That one right there. Okay.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. Thank you.
If it takes too long, I can find it. I'll be working on it all today and tomorrow. So
No, it's fine. I'll point you in the right directions. So I won't tell you exactly where it is, but I just want to see something, make sure. Because sometimes when you are staring at the same thing, it always it's fine.
Yeah, definitely.
Compare with weird. Maybe
If I wanted to try to get
you know what I think is going on? I think you had you've probably fixed the issue, right? But sometimes this module on the back end, when you are working with module, especially when you're is one of like what's the word I'm looking for? It's one of the like just the issue with Terraform module is like sometimes when you are working with the backend module, because I think initially when you ran it, you had an issue, and I think you fixed the issue, but it's still giving you the error. What I would suggest is go in your front end, go in your where we ran the code from. There, yeah. All right. Close your terminal. Well, you don't even have to close it, but it's fine.
Oh,
it's fine. It's fine. Then delete your .ter. So let me tell you the reason why we are even doing that. So you see how your modules are in the modules directory, right? In the different repo you have them in, right? How you have them there, right? Right. So in your project where you are calling the modules from, so go in that project.
Okay. Right here.
You see where we have the source, right? In your code, you have source on line 83, line 91, and so that's you telling Terraform that I want to, for example, on line 90, you are saying I want to create an ECS tax execution rule. The real code is in this directory, which is where you have the source on line 1. So when you run your code, what Terraform is doing is Terraform is going on the back end to download the actual code, right? And Terraform will now store the code in your .aws, in your .terraform folder.
Oh, wow.
The reason why Terraform does that is because the next time you go and run Terraform apply or Terraform destroy, Terraform will not go back and download your module again because it already downloaded and stored in that .terraform thing, the Terraform folder. It will just go there and use it. So let's say the first time you ran your code, there was this issue you were having in it and it downloaded it, right? Now that you fixed the code on the back end and you are running Terraform apply, instead of Terraform to go and re-download the code, it is still using the previous one that it downloaded that you had the issue on. I think that's what's going on.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sometimes Terraform module, there's a command you can add, and I can find the command for you when you run Terraform apply to force it to always re-download your module every single time. And the reason why Terraform does it this way, if you think about it, it makes sense. Now we are working with like our modules Terraform has to download is not that much. Imagine if you're working on infrastructure that it has to go and download 1,000 code, right? 1,000 module. it will take time for it to keep doing that every single time. So that's why Terraform will download it, store it in your local .terraform thing, and the next time it needs it, it will just go there and use it.
Oh,
So
okay.
it does have its benefit.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
So just to show you, if you click on the drop down on that .terraform folder in your Visual Studio Code, the first one, you see modules there, click on it. You can see all your modules that you downloaded that is storing there.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Right. So if you click on your task execution rule, the drop down there, you'll see. So the structure is always weird because those are all the dependencies on it, but that's how it all works. So what we'll do now is we'll delete that folder, delete that .terraform folder.
Delete it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And also delete the .terraform log. So you guys don't worry about deleting that .terraform folder because anytime you delete it, when you run Terraform init, it re-downloads it again.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So now open your terminal and run Terraform init. Then run Terraform apply and let's see if that works. Because I've checked your code looks fine.
Yeah, I looked over it a few times. So I was like, what the world?
See, it already downloaded it again.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's running faster too. Yeah.
So while you're doing that, I'm answering someone's question just in case if I'm talking. So someone said, I think it's Kata said, which topic do I teach? So I teach the tools that are really required to get a job as a cloud engineer. So when you start working, those are the tools you will use on a daily basis. Those are the tools that I teach, and those tools are Terraform, CloudFormation, Docker, Kubernetes, Ansible. Which one am I forgetting? I've mentioned Terraform, Ansible, CI/CD with GitHub Actions.
CloudFormation, I think you have on there
Yeah,
too.
CloudFormation too. I have a project on CloudFormation. I have the. Let me get the list here. I have the list over here. Yeah. So the tools that I teach are Terraform, CloudFormation, Docker, ECS. We also do a bunch of AWS services too. Python, Lambda, CI/CD, Ansible, and Terraform. Yeah. So basically, all the tools
and
that are
Kubernetes.
and Kubernetes. Yes, thank you. So basically all the tools that are required to get a job as a cloud engineer. Those are the tools that I teach. So you see what's going on here? We fixed you know what the other issue may be? Right? In your module, right? So go to your module, Yasha.
Okay.
I want to see if there's any change there. Oh, okay. So you can see, okay, this makes sense. So you can see you have some changes in your IAM role, right? You've made some changes locally. You know how when you make changes locally in your Git code, it will let you know that there's a code change in the orange. It shows it in orange, and the M means you modify the code. So I can definitely tell that you made some change.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
It makes sense. Yeah.
But remember that you want me not to tell you the answer, but remember that your Terraform is downloading the code from your remote GitHub repository. So what that means is that whatever change you've made locally, you haven't pushed it there.
Yeah, I got it. I got the answer.
Yeah.
I know to look for it. Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you
So
so much.
do you want us to try here, or you want to just go do that?
I'm going to work on it myself.
Okay. So main thing is make sure whatever change you've made in your module, push that to your repository.
Okay.
Right? Because that's where Terraform is downloading it for. Wait for this to finish running before you kill the terminal. So I'll say push all your backend code changes to your repository. Then once this is done running, delete that .terraform folder and the .terraform log. You have to delete those two. Then run Terraform init again, so that way it will download all the latest updates you have there. Then it should work. So how I knew is because I know we fixed that domain thing you were getting, but it was still showing here. So that's how I know it wasn't picking up your latest code.
Okay, that's great advice. Thank you. That helped. That was helpful.
No problem. All right, cool.
Stop sharing
All right. Sorry, someone is on the internet. Does anyone else have any question? Someone said, to contact me, you can go on the best way to contact me, because it goes to my personal email. So I'll show you. I always check the emails regularly, but I'll show you. So if you go on my site and you click contact here, so whatever message you type in here, I'm gonna get it, and I'll just respond to you from there. Oh, someone said, is there a structure for the class? It is a self-paced program, which is the best way. I'm telling you guys, I was just talking to someone this week, and I've spoken to several people that are learning as well. Anytime you guys are trying to learn cloud, the best way for you to learn is you will have to do the work as well. So don't let anyone deceive you by saying they can teach you on a Zoom call, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, or how many days. And the reason being is because there's so much information you have to learn. There are things you need proper structure. There are things you have to look at. Sometimes certain concept, the first time you hear it is not going to be the time you understand it. You might have to hear it over and over again. You might have to pause the video, rewind. There's just like so many things going on. You have to reference documentation just to get a full understanding of what you are doing. So that is why I always recommend not focusing just solely on a Zoom class. So that is why the structure of my program is not just Zoom class where I'm teaching everyone how to launch an EC2 instance. So how my program is structured is I have a list of projects, which is what I mentioned, that the tools that are required to get a job as a cloud engineer. And your job is just to learn the fundamentals and have a good, solid understanding in your fundamentals of those tools. You don't have to be an expert, but just if someone gives you a Terraform project, you know how to deploy a Terraform project. Just like Sean was just doing, he understands Terraform. We're just troubleshooting an error he's having in his code, right? So the structure of my program is the projects you have to do, the tools you have to learn. I've created a hands-on project on it. So there's no PowerPoint in it. It's just 100% hands-on project. So you will go through those projects at your own pace, because it is self-paced. And while you are going through the projects, if you have any specific questions or you run into any issues, then I'll meet with you on a Zoom call like this and help you troubleshoot. So throughout the week, we have a Slack community where you can post any issues you are facing in the Slack community. People there are very helpful. And you can also reach out to me. We'll schedule a meeting where we'll have a Zoom call and I'll help you troubleshoot whatever issues you are having. So the meeting you are seeing today for this Saturday, this is the day that I meet with everyone. So everyone that is in my program that can join is welcome to join. So on a day like today, I meet with them every Saturday. Then we also, it is also an open floor where they can discuss anything they want to discuss, whether it is relating to the projects they are working on or just general question. So that is how my program is set up. So it's a combination of self-paced, but that's why I call it more of like a mentorship thing than a boot camp. So you have to go through the information, but I guarantee you it is just following everything step by step because I've organized everything there for you. The work you have to do on your end is just being consistent and dedicating yourself and time to it. I'm not sure if I have to pronounce your name. I think it's Tinashe. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Like I said, exactly what I'm sharing with you guys is exactly what I did to get a job. And the things that I did to build my skills from not having any experience in cloud, because I came from a non-tech background too. So for those of you that are just hearing about cloud, either for the first time and you're interested in joining, that was just how I heard about it too. And these are the things I learned to build my skills, get a job, not only get a job, keep my job, and also continue to build my skills. So that is how my program is set up. Okay. Does anyone else have any question? Well, I know we have one, so it is pretty much time. Does anyone have any question before we end today's call? Okay. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for joining. And if you guys have any questions, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. I didn't remember you were asking that question. Can I talk to you for a few minutes after the call?
Yeah, sure.
All right, thank you.
All right. Yes, so thank you. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on Slack. And also, if I don't speak to some of you this week, I'll see you next Saturday. Have a good weekend, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ahmed, you can just rejoin back after I end the call.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.